Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Once again, we are blessed to have Dr. Hardt. Dr. Hardt, thank you so much for being here.
Doug, I have so much fun every time we talk that I look forward to these opportunities to hang out with you.
As do I. Dr. Hardt, we have an interesting question that came from one of our viewers here, and I'll just read it if I can. This person is asking, are there any benefits from the Biocybernaut training from an intimate couple in turmoil?
Oh, absolutely. I will tell a number of stories. Back in California, we would do a thing called a 2-day sample, where people who weren't sure that they, would be, our website wasn't as richly endowed with information as it is now, thanks to you and the team that you had. And so there really wasn't a lot that people could learn about the Biocybernaut training without coming. And so we ran for a while a 2-day sample, and it would be the full training, but it would just be for 2 days. And everyone, whoever paid for the 2-day sample, immediately at the end of the second day, plunked down the money for the rest of the 7 days. There was not one exception, except there then was one, and it was a man. And he said, I really want to go on, but my wife and I are divorcing, and she's in Hawaii. We were in California at the time. And I think this could save our marriage. So I want to go to Hawaii and see if I can bring her back to this training. And so he did. And 2 weeks later, he and she were in the training. Now, this was, there was a lot of assets at stake. The lawyers were like sharpening their knives, licking their chops, and because there were a lot of assets that were going to be divided up. And this couple was fighting. They were fighting so badly, like if I would ask one of them a question, the person would get 3 words into the answer and the other one would holler, "No, that's not true. You're always lying." And so I literally had to separate them and do the interviews inside one of the soundproof chambers for day 1 and day 2. At the end of day 3, the alpha had kicked in so much that they walked out holding hands. And the divorce was canceled. The divorce lawyers were not happy, but we now had a happy couple. And so I was very, very pleased, with the work that they had done. And so another time, there was a couple that came, and they had been married for 2 years, separated for 1 full year, according to the demands of their therapist. They had been through half a dozen different marriage counselors, psychiatrists, and there were behaviors that the wife was alleging the husband had committed, which he denied in front of this half dozen therapists, one after another. In the truth telling of the alpha training, he admitted to all of these behaviors, which was quite amazing. Now, this couple did more than one training. There were a lot of very deep issues. In a case like this, finding where the truth is an important part of the quest. And even more important is finding what each person's truth is, because people can have a truth that is not shared with everyone. It can be shared like with other people in the room, but maybe not with their intimate partner. And so, but to give you an example of how profoundly this can work, in addition to admitting in the truth telling of the alpha training, and maybe I should go sideways here a little bit to talk about the computerized mood scales. When I first began doing this work as a grad student, I administered paper and pencil mood scales before and after the training. I wanted to know how the alpha training was changing people's moods. And for the research, I would give 6 sets of 3 mood scales a day at different times during the day after different activities of the training. And I was doing training one-on-one. And so before I would go into the interview, I would go to a very quiet place, maybe one of the chambers, and I would read all 18 sheets of paper, the 6 administrations of the mood scales, 3 pages each. And I would attempt to upload and create in my own mind a model of what that person's emotional state was and how it changed as they went through the processes of the training. And I was able to do that. I could talk to them from inside their own emotions, and made the interviews extremely powerful and effective. However, when in 1987, with the help of Howard Friedfeld, who'd been for 8 years a personal assistant to the very perfectionist Werner Erhard, when I evolved the training so that it worked in group format, I found that I could not upload 18 different mood scales from 4 or 5 different people in a way that I could make sense of it. So I figured, well, I'm going to need to computerize this. Well, in the course of computerizing it, I realized that, well, people are sitting in the chamber and we're recording their brain waves while they're taking the mood scale. So maybe with a little work here, we could incorporate some, shall we say, subtle information. And so we do now in the Biocybernaut mood scales. Some people call them truth detectors, because the computer can make an assessment as to the accuracy of each answer. So let's say the word is angry and the person puts 0, the computer maybe accepts it or goes, oh, wait a minute, and then it assigns a probability. A 1 sigma is a 68% chance that denial of anger is wrong. A 2 sigma is a 95% chance the denial of anger is wrong. 3 sigmas is a 99.7% chance that denial of anger is wrong. And so we rather more quickly than in any other way I've found, get to the truth of what people are experiencing. And then they take these words and they go into the chamber and they use our copyrighted forgiveness method, 14-step Biocybernaut forgiveness method, which is set up so you only do forgiveness under conditions of rising alpha, which according to a survey by George Gallup of the Gallup poll is a very strong indicator that effective forgiveness requires a meditative mind. It requires increasing alpha. And so the whole process has been set up to do that. And so here we have this man, this husband, who had been in front of 6 different professional therapists and counselors, denying that he did these things to his wife, all of a sudden admitting that he had done these things to his wife and forgiving himself. And she's forgiving him, and so it's an amazing process of healing. And so, for example, at one point, the man was forgiving himself for being bitter. And in the course of that, discovered that he was hypocritical. And he actually then forgave himself for being hypocritical. Now, his wife had long accused him of being hypocritical, and he staunchly denied it. And yet in the truth telling of the alpha training, these things can come to life and the truth can be known. Now, the watchwords at Biocybernaut are openness, honesty, integrity, love, forgiveness, and appreciation. And so I challenge you to suggest any human relationship that would not thrive having more of these characteristics and qualities being expressed and experienced by the parties to that relationship. And so, yes, Biocybernaut helps restore relationships.
Absolutely fantastic, Dr. Hardt. Thank you so much again for taking time out of your day to come share with us.
A great pleasure, Doug. Looking forward to when we can next do this again.
Absolutely, as am I.
Hi, I'm Tony Robbins. Listen, if you are looking to improve your brain, your psyche, your ability, your emotions, your ability to really maximize your performance. And you want to really dig into your brain. My dear friend, Dr. Jim Hardt, and his Biocybernaut program is extraordinary. I've been through it myself. My wife Sage has, members of my family have, and we found it to be truly extraordinary. But it is not for the faint at heart. Unless you're dead serious about really taking things to the next level, don't bother. We went through the Alpha program designed to maximize your ability to create alpha waves. And it was challenging and it was incredibly rewarding. And I'd recommend it to anybody serious about improving the quality of their lives or including the quality of their family lives as well. So check out Cybernaut, check out Dr. Jim Hardt. And if you do, I think you'll be really, really pleased. And the entire time you are learning to think and how you think these electrodes create sounds. And you learn how to put yourself in the zone of alpha. But it's a bitch. It's horrible. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody that wants easy experiences, but I'd recommend it to anybody that wants to grow immensely. And by the first day, I'm like, who do I got to shoot to get out of this thing? Oh, it's me. I'm the one that did this shit. Right? But by the end of the week, all three of us were able to go into this state of alpha. And if you're familiar with alpha, the best way I can describe alpha is there's no problem that can't be solved in alpha. Because every problem that we have was created by us.
Thank you for being here and absorbing this information about the science of brainwaves and about the stories of people whose lives have been beneficially altered, improved by doing brainwave training at Biocybernaut. And now I'm reaching out to you to invite you to come and be a part of the Biocybernaut adventure. Biocybernauts are to inner space what astronauts are to outer space. So come and adventure with us. And if you'd like to leave a comment on the videos, you can do that, or there's a link you can click if you'd like to learn more. We welcome you to Biocybernaut.